Look at the starting lineup for Kansas State. 21-5 overall, tied with Kansas atop the Big 12 standings. Kansas has won earlier today.
Well, you look at Rodney McGruder, a tough, pesky defender as well, but he really does a good job of getting shots for himself and his teammates. And look at Connor Lambert, a freshman starting, able to stretch the floor and also create timely opportunities for three-point shots for Texas Longhorns.
Texas wearing their home whites and Kansas State out on the floor in their road purples. Second meeting of the regular Big 12 season. There are the officials, Tom O'Neill, Kelly Self, along with Jeb Hartness, and we are ready to go. Kansas State easily won the first meeting, and I do mean easily. It was basically over at halftime. That was back on January 2nd in Manhattan. And here is Mike Kabongo out of Canada, playing in his fourth game all season long after serving that 23-game NCAA imposed suspension. Nice backdoor cut, and Kabongo with the first basket. And what a combination between Lambert and Kabongo. Last four games, they have been sensational.
Well, this is what you see in Mike Kabongo. Is still, he practices every day, so you do have a feel for one another as far as the camaraderie they share on the floor.
Texas starting its 10th different lineup throughout the course of the year, but 4 straight games with this lineup. And Jonathan Holmes is healthy once again. DeMarcus Holland has really been a find. Step inside, Rodriguez has that shot deflected. 3 seconds on the shot clock, and strong rebound taken by the aforementioned Holmes. Kabongo head up, directing traffic. State playing with that 4-guard lineup. Now 10 to shoot. Holmes out on the perimeter. Good dribble drive, taking the big man off the dribble that time. Enriquez got right to the rim, but couldn't finish. Southwell out of the backcourt. Spradling run off the three-point shot. He is very, very good. Number 55 on the perimeter. That was a walk down inside by Enriquez, but is going to get bailed out, Bruce, getting his own offensive rebound after a very errant miss.
Connor Lambert now guarding Enriquez. He's long, and you have to go back to the basics. Box out on each shot. That's the only way you can combat when a guy is that much taller than you are on the floor.
Texas having to go with a smaller lineup themselves. Cameron Ridley, the 6'9", 270-pound freshman out of Richmond, Texas, has an eye malady, if you will. More on that later. He is unable to go in today's game, and they will miss him, particularly since K-State likes to play small. Skip pass. Southwell looking at a three-pointer. No, off the side of the iron. Kabongo quickly with a rebound, but ran out of real estate.
You talk about that size that Texas is missing. I mean, you don't have a lot of veterans down low for them. I mean, Holmes is a sophomore. Jalen Bond is a sophomore. We're not talking about seniors and things like that. So they miss the experience, but it's also a good opportunity for Ridley to see the game and see where he can affect the game as well.
Yeah, this is such a young team. 5 freshmen, 7 sophomores playing the vast majority of the minutes for Rick Barnes' Texas Longhorns. Spradling cannot leave him all alone, and he makes Texas pay at 19 versus West Virginia on Monday.
That's just bad communication there. You had one player wanting to switch, and you have Poppy who thinks that, well, no, we're staying man-to-man. That's where communication between 2 freshmen can hinder you.
Kansas State, at least during league play, has been the best three-point shooting team in the conference at just over 39%. Poppy looking inside for Holmes. Shot clock starting to wind down once again. Poppy, a little bit of a push-off, off the glass, no. Offensive rebound miss. Enriquez with the rebound. For a small team, Kansas State does a pretty good job on the back boards. Rodney McGruder misses the 3. Kabongo with another rebound. Quickly ahead, that pass will be intercepted. Looking for Holmes. Points off turnovers absolutely killed the Longhorns in the first meeting. Another three-pointer off the iron, but Holmes fouling the jump shooter Spradling. You know that's not a good idea. He'll shoot 3 free throws while we have a moment. Let's see him over to the sideline. Really hard tongue. New coach at Kansas State, and he's firmly in control.
That's right, Paul. Every player on this team may have been recruited by Frank Martin, but there's no doubt that this is now Bruce Weber's team. As he says, this isn't the first time that he's been in this situation. He did it at Southern Illinois. He did it again at Illinois. He knew his first task was to win over the players and then the fans. He said it was that win late in December against Florida when the players really came to understand that his system worked and that they could win games together. At 21-5, he's now the second most successful first-year coach in Kansas State program history, Paul.
All right, thank you, Kaylee. Bruce Weber in his first season in Manhattan. They've won 6 out of their last 7. Have the Wildcats 9 years at Illinois. Played in the championship game in 2005. 17-15 in his final year at Illinois. But he has landed in a great spot. Kansas State with veteran players, good young talent, a winning tradition. Frank Martin, who was in Manhattan for 5 years, left for South Carolina.
It's funny, you know.
DeMarcus Holland at the other end, all the way to the rim, and poor defense that time for K-State.
Yeah, he took advantage of no one coming up to stop the ball and just continued to drive onto the basket.
Number 22 in purple, Rodney McGruder. 8th leading scorer all time for Kansas State, 1,431 points coming in. It's a very balanced team and a very, very deep bench, and part of that, Martavius Erwin on the floor for the first time now, wearing number 3, banked in. Oh my goodness, and Angel was smiling down on Angel on that one. Wow.
You know, it's just shots like that you don't know what it does for a guy's confidence.
Pass in between Lammert and Poppy. Kansas State leading it 8-4. 4 minutes have been played here in Austin, Texas. Big 12 basketball coming your way on the Longhorn Network. And Texas playing at a very, very slow pace right now, really going deep into the shot clock on almost every possession. Poppy in trouble. 3 to shoot, 2 to shoot, pushes off and off the front of the iron. Not a good offensive possession that time for the Longhorns. Why are they struggling at the offensive end?
The ball is sticking on the same side of the floor. You don't get any movement. As you see, Kansas State, they're moving the ball, and they're getting good shots out of that movement. And you try to do it one-on-one, that is stagnant. It's easier to guard that way.
Back-to-back threes for Angel Rodriguez. Sophomore point guard out of Puerto Rico. Really struggled last year. Was basically 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Was 10th in the conference. That is awful. This year, he's first. Really turned his season around.
Well, that is experience, Paul. As you know, whenever you get an opportunity to play, that's when you're going to make bonehead mistakes sometimes. But at the same time, you hope that the next year, that player will learn from his mistakes.
Outside to Kabongo, shot clock down to 8 once again. Papapetru lost the handle. Shot clock, real trouble now. Holland's got to go. I don't know if he knows the clock. Shot clock violation against the Longhorns. Yes, Kansas State has played some solid defense, but that's just bad offense by the Longhorns. Couple possessions back to back.
Welcome back, and as we see, we talk about the importance of dribble penetration. Kansas State understands this. As we see here, Angel Rodriguez with the ball, he dribble drives, and he doesn't stay right there. He's constantly moving. The ball is still moving because he understands that if I get to my spot, then I'm able to do something worthwhile for my ball club.
And when we spoke to K-State head coach Bruce Weber earlier this afternoon at their shirt around and talked about their evolution as an offensive team, he said that's one of the things that we've done exceptionally well. Move the ball from side to side, make the defense move, create opportunities, and like I said before, they're a very good three-point shooting team.
Yes, and that's what creates those open three-point shots. Dribble penetration, you suck the defense in, and now you have guys spotting up at different points of the floor. A lot of times guys will quit just on that play right there. Angel, he kept going after he passed the ball because he knew I might get the ball back. So because he kept movement, he set his team up for a good opportunity for a good three-point shot.
Good teams are unselfish teams, and you look for the open man and you get him the basketball. As Angel Rodriguez coming out of the backcourt, 5'11" sophomore, again out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. He has really solidified this Kansas State basketball team. Thomas Gibson, part of that very good bench, right on cue, looking at a 15-footer and give the assist to Rodriguez.
Again, dribble penetration, sucks the defense in. That was a bad job of defense there by allowing him to have the baseline where he didn't have any help. You don't want to give a guy the baseline. Show him a little bit, but don't give him the whole baseline.
Couple of substitutions on the floor now for Texas. Julian Lewis, number 14 in white, along with Prince Ebay, number 44. Step back jump shot. Much needed by the Longhorns by number 12, Kabongo.
Now you look at that shot there. That was so much easier than their previous trips down the floor.
That's going to be a traveling violation. And Prince eBay is a long, potentially a very, very solid rebounder, shot blocker, defensive player. The young man in his first season out of Garland, Texas, 6'10", 245 pounds. Texas coaching staff really likes him.
Well, yeah, there's so much upside to this young man's game. The fact that he is a freshman, he didn't play against athletic guys at his level in high school. Now he's getting an opportunity, learning on the job.
Kabongo picked up his dribble, and DeMarcus Holland has to come out near midcourt to help him out. 13.5 minutes remaining. It's been all K-State so far, leading 13-7. Shot clock again winding down. Holland trying to split the double team, picked up by Southwell, and that is going to be a blocking foul called against Kansas State on the pass off on Gibson.
Yeah, as we see here, Texas really have to do a better job of getting into their sets much quicker. As we see there, he wasn't over, but Mike Kabongo just making a drive to the basket. He's going to attract a lot of attention. That's where you get the wide open shots from.
Fresh shot clock, Poppy to inbound. And Poppy having a hard time. I should say Kabongo having a hard time. We talked about it being a real battle between Mike Kabongo and Angel Rodriguez, and it was there before the ball was even inbounded.
That's right. You know,
that's like you playing defense.
You know, you just want to let them know that you're there.
Yeah, you used to beat the heck out of Kobe before the ball even came in. Poppy on the cup, off the inbound play, gets his own rebound and stays with it. First basket for Jonas Papapetru, and Kansas State leading 13-9. Rodriguez all the way into the lane. Very nice play. Gets into the body of the shot blocker, and we'll get to the free throw line.
I'm frowned up right now, if you guys can see him, because of the way he jumped straight up. I mean, Shaq did it all the time. I never got that foul. So, you know, when a big man can go up in his own space with his hands and the guard initiates the contact, I don't think that's a foul.
Rodriguez, an 82% free throw shooter.
You know, it's funny, we talked about in the open how active Rodriguez is for his ball club. I mean, we saw it down there on defense. Sometimes you get point guards that they're just one-dimensional now. It's very rare that you find guys that are willing to play hard at both ends of the floor.
Javon Felix, number 3 in white, 5'10" freshman out of New Orleans, who it was interesting this afternoon at Texas shoot-around. Rick Barnes said that Felix, who had to man the point guard position for Texas in the absence of Kabongo, probably the happiest guy in the Longhorn team right now. Huge weight off his shoulders.
It is.
And they've played well together at times.
Yes, they have. And you look, again, the games that the Texas Longhorns have lost this year, it's only been because of, I think, lack of leadership late in the games, and that's what you have in Mike Kabongo.
Lewis looking at a three-pointer, out of the corner, not there. Long rebound, quickly taken off the floor that time. Kansas State coming into the front court. And they have led throughout. Martavius Irving now at the point. And that's going to be an illegal screen called against number 1 Shane Southwell, and on the turnover, Texas will have the basketball once again. Also coming on for Texas is Jalen Bond, who missed the first 11 games of the season, 11 of the first 12. Some serious ankle and foot problems.
You know, that plantar fasciitis is nothing to play with. I had it one time in Miami, and you know, it's one of those deals. Now you look at his timing right now. And that's a fault. Jalen gets the foul call, but the ball handler has to wait for the screen to take place.
Jalen Bond, his first, 4th team foul.
There is Rick Barnes, now in his 15th season here in Austin for the Texas Longhorns, 26th overall, the all-time winningest coach in Texas basketball history, 14 straight trips to the NCAAs, and obviously that is in real jeopardy. That shot missed by McGruder, and there is Prince eBay down inside. Strong rebound in traffic.
Hey, he went and got that one. There's no doubt about it.
But both teams going extensively to their benches so far early.
You know, Mike Kabongo picking his ball up right now, his dribble up. This is just rust of not playing in game time situation. It works at practice.
Nice pass that time to eBay, going away from the screen. And when we come back, Prince eBay will be at the free throw line to shoot a pair. Kansas State ranked number 13th in the nation, currently over Texas 15-9. State winners of 6 out of their last 7. The Longhorns 2 out of their last 3. Number 13 on top right now, but having to deal with Mike Kabongo, and he has a big package of weapons.
Yes, he does. You know, he's a year into Coach Barnes' system. He understands penetration to get other guys wide open shots. And then right here, I love this. Get on the floor for it. The defense that he presents, it leads to fast break opportunities. Then next thing you know, you're not relying upon your offensive set so much.
Look at the impact. Points up by 4.7. Free throw attempts, turnovers are down. It's just, he's a player that gives confidence to all the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, and someone that they can rely on, a veteran out there on the floor. I know we look at the turnovers from 14 with him, and they had 15 without him. That's big, because a lot of times late in the games, Texas has struggled to take care of the basketball.
Mike Kabongo, he sits out 23 games. NCAA forced suspension. First 3 games back, he has played exceptionally well. 13.7 assists in a couple of the games. Kansas not so much, but that was tough. That was tough at Kansas. That was a tough one. But are you surprised that after that much time, I know he could practice with the team, but he came out and played pretty effectively.
Right. No, I'm not surprised by it, because he's familiar with the system here, and because he's familiar with the system here, that allows him to have confidence, and he's been practicing. But my thing is this: when is it going to hit his body? I know he's a youngster, but when is it going to hit his body as far as what you exert during games as compared to practice?
Prince eBay, who has struggled from the free throw line, showed you that and missed both. Rodriguez here at the point now, joined by Felix. Connor Lammert back on. Good backdoor cut and good play that time by eBay. Not giving up when he went for the ball fake.
There you go. And as we see, you know, here you get Gibson. He gets a good seal there, and he's on the wrong side, and because he's so long and not giving up, he's still able to make an effective play on the ball.
Rodriguez already has a couple of threes. Kansas State made 3 out of their first 5 attempts from outside the arc, including one by number 55 in purple Spradlin. Shot clock at 10. Sheldon McClendon on for the first time. That's going to be a wild 3, but the long rebound off the side of the arc taken by Amari Lawrence. And that ball thrown away but kicked.
These are the things that Texas Longhorns need to do a better job securing rebounds. You know, this is the number 13 team in the country, and you're down at home by 6 points. You need to play with a sense of urgency where you're getting all those loose, long rebounds.
Traveling violation called on Gibson. I don't know if you want to give 6'7", 270-pound Thomas Gibson the ball at about the top of the key and say, create your own shot, big fella. A quizzical and frustrated look on the face of Rick Barnes. No question about that. Trying to find some offense right now, and he's put Sheldon McClellan, 6'4", 200-pound sophomore out of Houston, and the leading scorer on the Longhorns team. 14 points, 4 rebounds, but he and Coach Barnes have not always been on the same page all season long, no doubt about that. Lewis with a miss, offensive rebound taken by eBay once again. He's been active.
And I like that, and I know he doesn't shoot free throws very well, but you know, with him getting to the free throw line, that will help his confidence when he starts knocking them down, getting there. Right now, thinking about so many different things, but I'm glad the fact he's still going after rebounds and putting it up and not being afraid to go to the free throw line.
And you help your team. That's Kansas State now with 5 team fouls, Texas with only 4. So if this keeps up, Prince eBay and the rest of the Longhorns may be a little earlier into the bonus. I want to remind you the Texas women's basketball team is back in action Tuesday as the Longhorns face Big 12 newcomers TCU. It's TCU versus Texas Tuesday at 8 on the Longhorn Network. You can also watch live online and now on your mobile phone, the Longhorn Network app available free in the Apple App Store. Paul Sunderland with Bruce Bowen. Texas taking on Kansas State. Second meeting of the year. As mentioned, it was all K-State in the first meeting. 83-57 back on January 2nd when they scored 33 points off 18 Texas turnovers. Shot clock inside of 10. Rodriguez working on Felix, and suspended dribble, if you will. And that's going to be another turnover. And Rodriguez says, I like that move, Mr. Referee. Not so sure about that one.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I say good defense there. Javon Felice staying in the play, staying low. It just, you know, I don't necessarily know if that's a carry right there. The ball got a little high, but we'll take it.
Leonard with his first look, and his hot play continues. Last 3 games, this is his 4th start. Previously, 14 of 22 from the floor.
And this is where he helps out so much, bringing that big man out of the paint because he has to contest or challenge Lammer's three-point shot.
Wildcats leading the Longhorns 15-12, 9:40 remaining in the opening half. Southwell surveying, crossover dribble, pull up 15-footer. Nice individual offensive move.
That was a very good move, setting it up with the in and out crossover. You know, Holmes got shook a little bit there, but other than that, that's one of the rare times that you saw Kansas State get late into the shot clock.
Southwell out of Harlem, New York, averages 8 points, 4 rebounds. Shot clock down once again, inside of 10. Felix looking for somewhere to go. That's a pretty good spot. Lemmert wide open again, guided that one a little bit. He pulled the string on that one a little bit.
He pulled the string, but the pass, it was a low pass. You got to give a shooter the pass right in the pocket. You don't want him stretching. He just hit a shot from right there. Better pass, better shot, I guarantee you.
Ball on the attempted rebound off of K-State, and Lammert and the Longhorns will inbound with Mike Kabongo back on the floor, number 12 in white, just his 4th game back, averaging just under 13 points per game. Inside, McClellan with his first basket of the game, and it is 17-14 Kansas State.
I see that Mike Kabongo back on the floor. You get an execution play there, sidebound, out of bounds, run to a tee.
Off the miss by Southwell once again. Kabongo out of the backcourt. Good rebound and good blockouts by Texas all the way around. Holmes down inside. Jump hook not there. Enriquez with a rejection. And running the floor. Beautiful play from defense to offense. And another assist by Angel Rodriguez.
And that's one of 2 things there. You have a on-ball defender there. He has to get his hands up where Angel can't just make a simple pass like that. And then getting back in transition. I know it was a block shot, but you got to get back on defense.
Kabongo with lots of room, attacks the basket, knocked to the floor by Enriquez, and will earn a couple of free throws. But really poor transition defense by Texas. The shot blocker at one end and gets a dunk at the other.
Exactly.
That can't happen.
You know, and that's something you always hear coaches talk about, transition defense. If we turn the ball over, we got to get back. There's no excuse for no one picking up the basketball at that particular moment if we're communicating as we should.
Second personal foul on Jordan Enriquez, 6'11", 250-pound senior out of New York. So he will go to the sideline, replaced by Thomas Gibson. Again, a very, very capable bench for Kansas State, averaging 22 points per game. And they have had a leading scorer in a game off the bench. This is their 27th game, 10 different times.
And that just shows you it's the system. It's not a coach that's coming down and saying, hey, you do whatever you want. But it's the system that fits these players to a T.
Southwell doing a lot of ball handling now, picked up by Lammert on the switch. Dangerous pass. Kabongo almost picked up the personal foul. Shot clock again inside of 10. Boy, I've said that a lot in this first half. And Julian Lewis on the run out. Off the turnover, and Texas turning the tables, points off turnovers. This time Texas against K-State. It's 19-16.
And it's obvious Texas have picked up their defensive intensity. Now you see Kansas State taking a lot of time when it comes to defense.
And Rodney McGruder on the curl. Talk about a beautiful pull-up jump shot, and he'll shoot a free throw when we come back.
Yeah, always eyes up. You got the point guard going to reward the big man. And then Texas Longhorns creating opportunities on the defensive transition for the nice layup.
First-year Kansas State head coach Bruce Weber taking his team to the number 13th ranking and a 21-5 overall record and a tie with Kansas atop the current Big 12 standings. And Not necessarily the first time it's happened at Kansas State. Bob Huggins, Bruce Weber, Frank Martin, who just left for South Carolina, Lon Kruger now at Oklahoma, all doing very, very well at a school that has real tradition. But when I spoke with Coach Weber this afternoon, I asked him about moving into an experienced team with a successful tradition, and he said the first thing I did was call Rodney McGruder. I called my leading scorer, somebody who I thought was going to be a real leader on the team. I spent so much time with this group, and the trip to Brazil, 10 practices, 4 games, really bonded this team with their new coach.
But, you know, when you have that type of opportunity and that time with one another, it creates a confidence. By him calling McGruder, that showed McGruder that he cares for him, and he's just not a coach in here. He wants to know his thoughts. What is it that you think about this? What is it that you think about that? You know, getting a feel for his players is what it's all about.
There was one other very important situation as well. Angel Rodriguez from San Juan, Puerto Rico, was recruited by Frank Martin, very close with Frank Martin. And Coach Weber was very honest. He said, you know, young man, you might be thinking about transferring, but I'm going to take care of that for you. At least I want you to talk to Darren Williams, who played for me. And they had a conversation, now the star point guard of the Brooklyn Nets. And Angel Martinez here is growing up as a Kansas State Wildcat and having a wonderful season. Pass outside of the defense, Sheldon McClellan turning that ball over.
You know, we talk about how resilient kids are today, and you know, you got to understand the relationship that Angel had with his previous coach, as far as, you know, they had a bond. He recruited him. He was from the Miami area. He understood the culture. The coach is Cuban, and the fact that Angel is Puerto Rican. So, you know, there's a closeness there. But when Bruce came in, it was more of a situation where, you know what, hey, I'm not trying to change who you are, young man. I want you to be successful. And when you get that type of support from a head coach, it kind of makes you feel good, and you can continue on with what your plans were prior to that.
Thomas Gibson, who had 17 points in the first meeting for Kansas State against Texas with the basket but missed the free throw. Connor Lammert now with 2 personal fouls. Kabongo out of the backcourt, 6:45 remaining. Kansas State leading by 8. Reverse layup not there. Rebound battle for and taken by Gibson. Martavius Irving back on, screen from Southwell. Hesitation, floater down the lane, barely touched the iron, and then compounds matters by picking up the personal foul as Julian Lewis got the rebound. That is 17 fouls now on K-State. On Sunday, the Longhorns baseball team wraps up their series against the Cornhuskers. Nebraska versus Texas, Sunday at noon on the Longhorn Network. You can also watch live online and now on your mobile phone to the Longhorn Network application. That is Nebraska and Texas. Beautiful weather for baseball here in Austin. 70 degrees, perfect.
You know, Coach Augie Garrido, who's the head coach here for the Longhorns baseball team, when I was at Fullerton, he asked me to play for the Titans. And I said, no, Coach, you know, I'm going to focus on basketball, and I want to be with a winner. Well, needless to say, they won the College World Series there. Right. We didn't make it past the Big West tournament. So, you know, things worked out for me, I think, but I was a little disappointed. I could have been a part of a winner in college.
It turned out okay. you got three rings. And for Longhorn baseball fans, they were winners this afternoon. Be in front of a full house, 4-3 over the Cornhuskers. McGruder going after the offensive rebound. That was too easy.
He just pushed Julian right out of the way. Julian Lewis right out of the way to go get the ball.
9-point lead now, the biggest for Kansas State. That was just wanting it a little bit more. Been an interesting matchup. Rodriguez doing a very good job on Kabongo at the defensive end. Poppy trying to find a way to get going offensively. Gibson going to be called for the personal foul, and Prince Ebay to the line once again.
This is just unacceptable on the defensive end. You know, he puts up the shot. Look what Julian Lewis does. I talked about boxing out earlier. I mean, that was no attempt. And the only thing he does, he'll go to the bench and tell coach, you know, my bad. Hank Egan had a word for my bad. It really means you're telling me, shut up, coach. I don't want to hear what you're trying to say.
Longtime NBA assistant,
exactly.
Greg Popovich in San Antonio.
I first met Coach Egan at University of San Diego where he was a coach. He coached Mike Brown there. And, you know, it's amazing. You got to do your work in this game. Kansas State is playing with a sense of urgency. Texas, they're playing as if, you know, we'll turn it on a little bit. We're at home.
Well, they're playing the number 13 team in the nation, who is doing the little things like off of misses going to the offensive board.
Exactly.
Texas has been statistically a good defensive team. Field goal percentage defense, third best in the country. Three-point percentage defense, the best in the country. They have just been so inefficient as far as turning the basketball over, second chance points, and points off turnovers. We got a timeout here at the Erwin Center. Big 12 basketball coming your way on the Longhorn Network. 5:32 remaining in the opening half. Kansas State 26, the Texas Longhorns 17 as far as field goal efficiency. Texas right now 7 of 17, 2 of 6 from outside the arc, 1 of 9 from the free throw line. That's on Prince eBay. He's not a good free throw shooter. He's been getting to the line an awful lot, been getting offensive rebounds. He's been certainly putting in the effort. eBay is 0 for 5. And as far as Kansas State is concerned, the difference in the game there, 3 of 6 from outside the arc and 5 of 7 from the free throw line. That's going to be a personal foul. Now, these are silly fouls by Kansas State, and Bruce Weber is going to talk to his, first he's going to talk to the officials, then he's going to talk to his team, because you're talking about having Texas get back in this basketball game at the free throw line when they're not very efficient from the floor, and they've been in the bonus for a while.
Yeah, this is one of those games where the coaches will look at the stat sheet and say, you know, we gave up. You know, we've been fortunate. They're 1 of 9 from the free throw line. We're fortunate to be where we are. And on the flip side with Texas, they're going to say, fellas, look, if we do what we need to do as far as taking care of free throws, this is a game that we're up in right now. So let's take care of the ball, do the little things as we've been discussing here.
Kabongo an 81%er so far. Again, this is his 4th game back. And Texas 12 and 14 on the year, 4 and 9. A little extended full court pressure, but 2 and 3 with Kabongo on the floor, but get beaten at the defensive end. The layup good. DJ Johnson lays the ball up, beating the pressure defense and then attacking the rim.
One of the worst spots in defense in a pressing situation is for the ball to get to the middle. And as we see, Kansas got it exactly in the middle, and they attack. They didn't wait to set up the offense. You want to beat a pressing situation by attacking the basket.
And eBay now on the sideline, probably because he's not making free throws, but no real shot blocking back there. That was Jonathan Holmes back there trying to protect the rim. Another little touch foul. That is the 3rd personal foul on Martavius Ervin. And so now it'll be 2 free throws the rest of the half for Texas. Let's send it over to the sideline to Kaylee Hartine.
Paul, Texas is missing a big presence inside in Cam Ridley. His right eyelid became infected. They noticed it Friday morning. He was actually taken to the emergency room to have fluid drained. He's not playing right now because it's an open wound, and he's not allowed for sweat to possibly further infect that eyelid. I'm told it's not serious, and he will be reevaluated by doctors on Sunday, Paul.
Thank you, Kaylee. Cameron Ridley, a 6'9", 270-pound freshman, averaging 4 points, 5 rebounds, and certainly would have been a difference maker and certainly a matchup changer against a team, Kansas State, that likes to play with 4 guards.
Yeah, but Paul, you know, it's an opportunity, and it's an opportunity for everyone who's going to get extended minutes there. So I think sometimes you just got to allow guys to take their bumps and bruises out there on the floor.
Papa Petru has been very quiet so far, as has Connor Lambert. Both of them been scoring it pretty well. Off the deflection, that should have been off of Lawrence and out of bounds. Another turnover for Kansas State. That's 7 turnovers for Kansas State. They only average 12 per game on the year.
Well, you look at Angelo Rodriguez. He's on the bench right now. You know, he's usually the one controlling the tempo, making sure to set up guys. Now you have someone else who doesn't play as many extended minutes running the point guard for them now.
McClellan, good ball movement. Holland out of the deep corner. 3-pointer not there. A nice tip out. Back onto the floor. McClellan gets that ball.
Going after the ball, getting out of bounds. These are the things that can ignite a run for this ball club. They need to play with a sense of urgency, passion. Come on.
Rodney McGruder back on. Southwell step back jumper. McGruder offensive rebound. That's just hard work. Irving straightaway 3-pointer no, and on the block out, ball is loose. Kabongo getting after it, ball is still loose. Papa Petru trying to get on it, ball is, wow. Usually the officials want to protect the players and make sure nobody gets caught up in all of that fracas, but that ball was loose for a long, long time. This is a pretty good rugby scrum. We'll straighten it out when we come back. Kansas State leading Texas 29-22. Whoa.
Yeah, you know, a point guard with his head up constantly rewards the big man for running the floor, and then right here, creating a little space there. The bank is open all times, and again, right here, swing, swing. He had Kansas State rolling early on, but it's been quiet of late.
Biggest lead for Kansas State was 12. Texas has been doing a magnificent job getting to the free throw line. Converting is another story. K-State is 6 of 8. There is Rodriguez. Texas on the make by Kabongo is now just 5 of 14. And if you're just joining us, Prince Ebay blocked some shots, worked hard, ran the floor, got some offensive rebounds, but he has missed all of his free throw attempts.
And you know, this is where, hey, he gave good effort. He's affected the game. He just hasn't had the complete game that you would like your center or your big man to have when he's getting opportunities the way he is.
0 for 5 from the free throw line for eBay, and some of those coming on the front end of a one-on-one. Down inside once again, McGruder, who's been excellent on the backboards at both ends, scores once again.
And it's the offense. Again, I talked about that earlier. That was just a simple back cut there off of a pass up top. So when you have great movement, and he moves well without the ball, he understands in this offense, if I set my guy up and cut the opposite direction, I got a chance to score.
Another foul. This called on DJ Johnson, 6'8", 250-pound freshman out of St. Louis.
I know we see the fouls tallying up for this ball. This can really affect them next half.
Absolutely.
You know, unlike NBA, you don't foul out at 6, it's 5. So 2 fouls in the first half is equivalent to almost 4 in the NBA. You still got 2 to play with in the NBA, but here it's not that way with young guys.
First free throw is good. Second free throw missed by Jalen Bond. Irving at the point. McGruder now on the right wing. Bond with a near steal. And let's try it again. Skip pass, Gibson wide open and missed that one. Looked like the ball slipped out of his hands. Here comes Texas, trailing by 6, and another foul. Bruce Weber is going crazy on the sideline. Not that these are bad calls. I'm not criticizing the officials, but this is part of basketball, is knowing time, score, and foul situations.
That's what separates this scholarship athlete from a walk-on. You know, you have the talent and the knowledge upstairs as far, hey, they're in the bonus. I can't foul them in transition. I can't make ticky-tack fouls, and that's what's going on right now.
And Texas has not shown that against their being Kansas State's half-court defense, that they can consistently get good shots. They're making up big chunks of this lead at the free throw line, but again, good on just 1 of 2. It was Bond before that, and now Kabongo, an 81%er, making just 1 of 2. Inside of 3 minutes remaining in the opening half. McGruder working against McClellan. That is good offense now with 9 points. Rodney McGruder out of Washington, D.C. with a basket for Kansas State.
You know, I've watched him as far as his movement without the ball, and he's one of those guys that's kind of old school like Reggie Miller. Not saying that he shoots like Reggie, but as far as movement without the basketball, it's hard to guard guys when they're constantly moving without the ball.
Papa Petru, skip pass along the baseline. That shot is blocked. Good rotation defense. Lawrence ahead of the pack. A little bit out of control. Missed that layup. Lost his footing. Long rebound. Second chance opportunity coming to K-State. Boy, this has happened repeatedly. Texas off of a miss by K-State or off of a good stop. They just haven't closed out the defensive effort. McGruder left all alone. Three-pointer on the way off the back of the iron. Rebound taken by Texas. Kabongo with some space. That ball laid up and in. Hard foul that time, and it's going to be 2 more free throws coming.
You know, here's McGruder's play from the play before. As we watch him, he comes off a double screen there, and then he attacks the lane, takes his time, gathers. You know, that's something that young guys don't understand right now. They get in the lane, and they're just going all willy-nilly. He gathered himself, came to a nice stop, and put up a good shot.
Having a very consistent senior season among the conference leaders. 78% of his free throws last year, almost exactly the same sorts of numbers.
In for Texas.
Free throw up and good by DeMarcus Holland. Very nice article about this young man, 6'2" freshman out of Garland, Texas, has really become a favorite among the Texas coaching staff. Great work ethic and really improving. And his minutes have doubled over the last 11 games. Violation that time by Sheldon McClellan. So wipe away that second attempt.
These are mental mistakes right here. I mean, it's not like Texas is up 20 right now. You need to focus and get to the business of basketball.
Kabongo now on the sideline. Felix back in running the point. Minute and a half remaining. Texas trailing by 6. McGruder trying to gather. Ball back outside now. Omari Lawrence, number 12, clearing way now from Artavius Erwin. Shot clock down to 5. Crossover dribble. Tough pull-up jump shot not there, but the ball deflected out. Good effort that time by Nino Williams, number 11. Volleyball tap outside. Williams down in the lane. Second chance opportunity. That ball deflected out of bounds by Poppy, and Kansas State will have it for a third time.
You look at the white jersey right there. There are so many standing outside of the paint. Once the ball goes up, you need to make a beeline to the basket. Get in there, put a body on someone, get ready to rebound.
Kansas State got out early. They led it 21-16, 29-19. Their biggest lead was 12, and then it started to be quite a long and consistent parade to the free throw line for the Texas Longhorns. They cut the lead to 4, and now with just under a minute to play, number 13 Kansas State leading 33-27. Mention number 13. Let's take a look at the RPI of the top teams right now in the Big 12 Conference. There is Kansas. Their RPI at number 4. Interesting. And Oklahoma has some pretty good wins in the conference. No doubt about that. One of those against Kansas. There is Kansas State ranked 13. The RPI at 19. Oklahoma State, I think that's a team that will be moving up. They're playing very good basketball right now. And a team like Iowa State is going to be very dangerous the rest of the way in the regular season and then on in to the Big 12 Conference tournament. Iowa State has yet to lose a game at home. And over the final 5 or 6 games of the regular season, a lot is still yet to be determined. Miami was a loser today. Yep, Miami lost today.
No, I watched that team. They've improved a great deal.
Oh, that whole program has really improved. That shot blocked by Bond, but it's going to be 2 free throws coming to McGruder.
That's I think Coach Self has said this to the guy: attack the basket. Even if we miss, we get rebounds. But you see here, you can't guard a guy standing on the side of him. He's trying to funnel him to the baseline, but you don't necessarily want to jump on his top side and say just go, because you give him an alleyway to the basket.
McGruder good on the first of 2 free throws. Kansas State from the line right now 7 of 9. McGruder a 73%er from the line so far on the year. The first player that Bruce Weber called when the coach got his new assignment, moving from Illinois over to Kansas State. Kabongo quickly out of the backcourt. Kansas State leading it once again by 8. Nice kick to Papa Petru. His first look and buries a three-pointer. Boy, it took a long time for him to get a good look.
Yeah, but you saw that play there. The previous time Bond and Mike Kabongo ran a pick and roll, Bond got called for an offensive foul. Kabongo waited for the screen, attacked the basket, sucked the defense in, and kicked it out for a wide-open jump shot.
Significant separation now between shot clock and game clock, so Texas will get the ball back if they can control the rebound. Thrown onto the floor, and that's going to be over the top. A foul called against Kansas State's Gibson, so it'll be 2 more free throws coming to Texas.
His third.
Thomas Gibson picking up, that was Omari Lawrence picking up his 3rd personal foul. So starting to add up, and it's a good thing. As we talked about and emphasized, Kansas State has a very deep and talented bench, and they're going to need it in the second half because they are really racking up the personal fouls.
I guarantee the coach is going to talk about turnovers, free throws, and then, I mean, it's not the talent right now. It's the effort. And I guarantee he's going to talk to them about the effort, and they must come out with a better effort next half.
Fleeks good on both free throws, 22.7 seconds remaining, and Texas trailing at 35-32. The closest they have been since the early going, and Prince eBay back on the floor right now for some shot blocking.
You know, and what I'd like to see is his teammates go up to him and say, hey, man, we're with you regardless of what's going on as far as the bad free throws. Encourage him. Make him feel wanted right now because it's wearing on him. He understands he's missed free throws, but now they need to really corral him and say, hey, you're with us.
A lot of ill-advised fouls going on the team in purple, but here's another one. Shot clock is off. You've gotten yourself back into the basketball game at 35-32, and you send Rodriguez to the free throw line.
81% free throw shooting.
Offense to defense switch. 21.7 seconds remaining. Right now, K-State 8 of 10 from the free throw line, and Texas just 11 of 22. 22 free throws in the first half. That is really bad defense, ill-advised defense for Kansas State. First free throw good, and Rodriguez will earn the bonus. Second free throw falls through. Interesting to see if K-State, as they bring on a couple of other substitutes protecting some foul trouble. Lawrence back on along with Nino Williams. I was wondering if Kansas State, yeah, here they come. They're going to extend some pressure to try to take some valuable time off the clock. Now they fall back, and it'll be a final possession for Texas, trailing 37-32. Inside of 7 seconds. Kabongo working one-on-one, went off of his foot. Kansas State might get a look at it. Southwell, as time expires and it counts. Wow. Points off turnovers killed Texas all season long, but particularly in the first meeting against Kansas State. And just a careless play, and then, quite frankly, followed up by a lucky make by one of Bruce Reber's Kansas State Wildcats. It was Shane Southwell. Let's go over to Kaylee Hartung.
Coach Barnes, all season long, you've wanted your players to get to the free throw line. Tonight they have, but the shots haven't been falling. What do you make of that?
Well, again, that's a big difference, but Prince got there. He missed a lot of them too, but, you know, Mike missed some, and everybody did, but we fought hard to get back in the game, but we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. I mean, we wanted to have a little press here without fouling. Javon fouls in that last play. Mike turns the ball over, and they hit that shot, but it's those plays, and we put ourselves in position, but despite everything we're doing to hurt us. But, you know, we still obviously have a chance, but we just got to cut down those kind of ridiculous plays.
Thank you, Coach.
Mike Kabongo led the way for Texas with 10 points, and Rodney McGruder superb for Kansas State. At the break, Kansas State leading at 40-32.